Michelle Obama and her brother, Craig Robinson, started their podcast a couple of days ago, or at least they released episodes for their podcast. I took the time to watch the first episode. I think it was a good introduction episode. I'm just going to be straight. I really do not agree with a lot of what Michelle Obama represents as far as politically. I'm not really on the Democrat plantation, so to speak. So I really don't think that I would connect with her on anything politically. Having said that, I found the podcast interesting in the sense that I see what they're trying to do. Her and Michelle Obama and Craig are very close, and I'm sure they want to capture those conversations that they have on like issues. And, I think that they should do that. I'm sure they've had some good, thought-provoking, profound discussions, funny discussions, just all kinds of things that a close family or friend, we all have family and friends that we talk to about everything from celebrity to politics to, just family issues. You have those close relatives or friends that you talk to about stuff. And sometimes you leave those conversations like, wow, I wish we recorded that because that was a really good conversation, and I think that they're trying to capture that a little bit and just share it with the public. And I think that they should continue being consistent and putting the podcast out. And the reason why I say that is because, Michelle Obama has to make her own mark outside of being Barack Obama's wife. She was successful in her own right. Craig obviously was successful in his own right outside of Barack Obama. But I think that Michelle needs to really, if she wants to do this and has a vision for this, and Craig wants to do this and have a vision for it, they should not feed into the negativity. They should stay positive and steer the course. They're going to get a lot of people that are listening or watching to criticize. You're going to have a lot of people watching because they're fans of Michelle. And, they just need to be authentic. They do need to be entertaining. But I think the entertainment will come from them just being authentic. But I wanted to get into this article because I found it rather strange. Everywhere I look was nothing but criticism, to the point where I said, well, maybe I need to listen to this to find why are people criticizing it so heavily. Like literally, I haven't found any articles or videos where people are having anything decent to say. I think it's sort of unfair that people are backlashing at Michelle Obama based on the politics and what's going on in the country. She was not a elected official. She was the wife of an elected official. So whatever beef or gripe you have about government when it comes to Obama, that is Barack Obama. That was not Michelle Obama. And just like a lot of husbands and wives, you're not going to agree on everything. So I don't know if Michelle was totally lockstep in favor of everything that Barack did as president. So that would be something interesting to see. Also, the way the politics have shifted so much with the Democrat Party going so far left, it would be interesting to see, is Michelle more of a moderate with a little progressive twist, or is she just a moderate? It's really something that I would be interested to know, because I really don't know that much about her outside of her being connected to Barack Obama, and I don't know that much about her brother either. To me, they look like they're boy-girl twins. I found that quite cute, and their close relationship, I thought it was just very touching, and I think to me, it seemed like it was off to a good start. It may not have had millions of listeners, but she's basically getting it out of the mud. And if this is something that they want to do and they have a vision for it, they are going to have to basically start from ground up and roll up their sleeves and say, hey, this is something we want to do. We believe in this. We believe it can work. And they need to nurture it. They planted the seed. They have to nurture it, water it, and see where it can grow. But this article from Newsweek says Michelle Obama podcast flooded with abuse from trolls. And yes, it was. There's a lot of people that had negative things to say about it, which I thought was people are entitled to their opinions, but it seemed like it was rather undue criticism. I think there's other motivations behind some of these people's critique and criticisms. The first episode of Michelle Obama's new podcast has been flooded with abuse from trolls. The podcast, called In My Opinion, IMO, with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, short for In My Opinion, was announced on Monday by Higher Ground, the media company founded by the former president and first lady in 2018. It aired its first 2 episodes this week. Online abuse and trolling are pervasive on social media, but Black women are disproportionately targeted. A 2018 study from Amnesty found that Black women were 84% more likely to be mentioned in abusive or problematic tweets in comparison with white women. 1 in 10 tweets mentioning Black women were either abusive or problematic. Additionally, a 2025 study from Forbes found that 27% of African American women have reported an incident of online abuse. The first 2 episodes of the podcast were released this week and featured an introduction as well as an interview with Emmy-nominated actress Issa Rae. Both episodes were released on Wednesday. The comment section of the podcast has been flooded with negative comments from trolls. A significant portion of the comments were directly critical of the former First Lady and of her gender, with many users writing that she is a man, calling her Big Mike, and referring to the podcast as being done by 2 brothers. Other comments were more directly critical of the podcast, with one user writing forced, scripted, not authentic, and another commenting, this podcast is only entertaining because of the comments. Some more explicitly oriented towards politics, with one user writing, I know there's a DNC staffer whose job it is to read these comments and gauge engagement. This comment is to let you know that we don't want podcasts. We want policies that will improve our material conditions. Well, like I said, Michelle Obama was not an elected official. If you're going to pressure someone to really advocate for anything, it should be Barack doing that. you know, I think that Michelle Obama, sort of, from what I gather, she sort of was pulled into politics because that was an ambition of Barack. And when you are going along for the ride and being a supportive spouse, that doesn't mean that that's what you really want to get involved in for yourself. I'm sure she is passionate about certain things and want to advocate for certain things, but I think that people, especially Black people, are disappointed that Barack Obama and Michelle really were not the advocates that they thought that they could have or should have been, especially on certain issues. They seem like they're very measured, controlled, and it doesn't seem authentic. I think that if this is really going to even work, they really need to be a little bit more authentic and real. I'm not sure about Barack, but I know Michelle has that lived experience of African American, and she has the lived experience of an African American woman with both African American mother and father. And so there's a lot that from that lived experience that I think Michelle has been sort of hiding because she doesn't want to be criticized. And, I think she should be secure enough in herself where she doesn't need to do that. She doesn't need to hide behind the curtain. She's not the first lady anymore. She's not in any political office. She doesn't need to be as controlled or measured, and things like that. Otherwise, it's going to come across as inauthentic and not real. And it's just not going to really work. As far as people taking their calling her all kinds of crazy names and saying she's really a man and all of that other stuff, that's getting a little old. And people should really be ashamed of themselves for putting all this negative energy towards this podcast the way they have. It's a woman and her brother that are speaking and having a conversation. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But to say all of these things, these hateful, disrespectful things about their appearance, is she a man, or just saying all these negative comments, it's really a reflection of the person that's doing the commenting more so than it is a reflection of the podcast or Michelle and Craig. But, look, I would recommend you check the podcast out, see where it's going. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's just as simple as that. I do find that, let's be realistic. This is a racist country. I mean, it just is. Are there a lot of wonderful people in this country who are not racist? Of course. But you have a lot of people out here that really do not like seeing strong Black men or strong Black women. That's just the bottom line. And so, as Black people, we have to really understand that negative energy that people put towards us, you have to get good at deflecting that and saying to that negative energy, return to sender. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.